the meaning of decentralization, which is the opposite of a centralized system, that's centralization. Now, decentralization is a political arrangement or administrative system where political powers are shared between the central government and the component units. So you see that you have levels of government, the central government and the component unit. That is what is obtainable when you are talking about a federal system of government, where you see the federal government, you see the state government, that's levels of government. We also define it as a political administrative arrangement that involves sharing of powers into the central government and other component unit. Even in organizations other than the state, you also see some decentralization, especially organizations that have branches all over the country. You say that some level of autonomy are accorded to every branch to manage their affairs in their own ways. That is decentralized system. So you give them some level of powers to actually manage their affairs. So in a state, we also have that decentralized system where there is division of powers between the central government and the component units. And in most cases, especially in a federal system of government, they derive their powers rather from the Constitution. Now, let's look at the forms of decentralization. There are two major forms of decentralization. One is what we call devolution. Now, devolution is what we call the transfer of power. This time, power from the central government to the component units. That is when the central government transfers decision-making power to local government, to the local authorities. So it means that it has given them power to make decisions in areas that affect them. So in this system, you can have a situation where the central government can create regions, have the power to create regions and give them powers, transfer power to them to make decisions in the affairs that affect them in carrying out their duties. So it's usually found in a unitary state, and the power of the component units emanate from the central government. A good example, you see it in Britain, where the central government transfers power to local authorities, and that local authorities now gain autonomy to make some decisions in areas that affect the local people that they manage. Some public local authorities providing essential services, and the system can be given such power to actually make decisions that affect them in carrying out their duties. So that is transfer of power, transfer of political power, transfer of decision-making power. That's what we're talking about in devolution.